How often do you find yourself working so hard only to feel like life is pushing back harder? Ever feel like you're giving all you have, but somehow peace and happiness keep slipping away, just beyond your reach? It's as if no matter what you do, life is constantly testing you, draining you of energy. It's like pouring your effort, love and care into a bucket with holes. No matter how much you pour in, it just seeps right out, leaving you wondering if it's worth it. Or imagine you're carrying a backpack overloaded with other people's expectations, and each step forward feels heavier than the last. You're trying, but it feels like you're only digging yourself deeper into exhaustion and frustration. So, why does life feel this way? The answer is often in the habits we don't notice, the behaviors that, without meaning to, make life harder. We keep pushing ourselves for others, hold on to the things we can't control, and repeat patterns that drag us down. These behaviors don't just drain us. They leave us questioning our worth, our joy, and even our purpose. According to Stoicism, the root of these struggles often lies in where we put our energy. Stoics teach us that peace comes when we stop trying to control things beyond us, like others' opinions or actions, and instead focus on how we respond. It's about releasing what we can't change and using that energy to build inner strength. Think about it. How much of your daily stress comes from holding on to things that aren't truly in your control? What if today you could begin to let go of just one of those things? Imagine the relief you'd feel, the strength you'd gain from dropping even one weight you've been carrying alone. In this video, we'll explore 8 behaviors that make life unnecessarily hard. Each one is like a hidden weight pulling you down, but with awareness, you can start to let go and experience freedom. And don't miss the final behavior. It's something many struggle with, but rarely acknowledge. Trust me, you won't want to miss the 6th and second last behaviors. They hold insights that could completely change how you approach life's toughest challenges. So if you're ready to lighten your load and find a clearer path, stick around. And if these ideas resonate with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more wisdom that simplifies life. Behavior number 1. Overcomplicating simple decisions. Why is it that sometimes the smallest decisions feel like they weigh a ton? Whether it's choosing what to wear, picking a meal, or even deciding how to spend an hour, we often find ourselves locked in a mental debate, paralyzed by the simplest choices. Imagine this. You're at a restaurant, glancing over the menu for the 3rd time. You know you're hungry, but somehow every option feels like a commitment. You go back and forth wondering, what if I pick the wrong dish? And there you are, stuck, overthinking something that could have been decided in seconds. This habit of overcomplicating things doesn't just show up with food or clothes, it seeps into our lives. We start questioning small choices, thinking and rethinking, until every decision becomes a mountain. Instead of feeling satisfied, we're left exhausted, doubting even the choices we do make. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who valued clarity and purpose, saw through this tendency. They taught that simplicity and focus are strengths, that overthinking only robs us of time and peace. According to them, if we can't decide quickly, we've likely attached too much importance to something trivial. They believed in weighing what matters and letting the rest go, freeing themselves from the constant strain of overthinking. So, how do we stop? Next time you're stuck on a small decision, try this. Ask yourself, does this really matter? If the answer is no, let it go. Choose and move on. Life is too short to waste energy on things that won't matter tomorrow. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we control and to make peace with the rest. Decisions don't have to be perfect, they just have to be made. When we let go of the need to get every choice exactly right, we free ourselves to live with more ease and clarity. So remember this, Life's biggest joys and lessons don't come from overthinking the small stuff. They come from engaging fully with what's in front of us. Don't let tiny choices steal your peace. Simplify, decide, and live without regret. Behavior number 2, making excuses for mistakes. Sometimes we come face to face with our mistakes, yet the first thing that pops up isn't a lesson, but an excuse. Maybe it's the weather, or that you were busy, or someone else distracted you. Anything that makes it feel like the mistake isn't truly yours. But think about it. Each excuse is a tiny escape, like putting a band-aid on something that needs a deeper fix. You might get away with it for a while, but it only leads to a life of dodging, of slipping by without growth. After a time, you stop learning from mistakes and start repeating them, blaming everyone and everything except yourself. The Stoics, those ancient thinkers who spent their lives mastering self-discipline, saw this clearly. They didn't believe in escaping blame or crafting stories to explain failure. They believed in owning every mistake and seeing it as a pathway to strength, a reminder to do better next time. Picture someone who always shifts the blame. You know the type. They break something, and suddenly it's about how someone else set them up for failure. Or they miss a deadline, and it's the boss's fault for not reminding them. These stories add up until eventually their lives are filled with excuses and genuine growth becomes impossible. This is where the Stoic approach to control comes in. They taught that the only thing under your power is your reaction to life, not the people around you, not the events you can't control, but your response to them. They remind us that owning a mistake isn't weakness, it's freedom. It's looking at what went wrong and understanding what you could have done differently. So next time you feel an excuse bubbling up, pause. Ask yourself, what am I really gaining by avoiding the truth? If you can spot these habits, making excuses, dodging responsibility, blaming others, you can stop them in their tracks. Setting a boundary against excuses doesn't mean you're hard on yourself. It means you're strong enough to face yourself. Boundaries protect your growth. They keep you grounded, honest, and accountable. Remember, the Stoics taught us that the first step to freedom is recognizing what's in your control. The only person you should hold accountable for your mistakes is the one in the mirror. That's where true growth begins, where strength is born. So here's a thought to carry with you. Don't be the side character in your own life, driven by excuses. Be the main character who isn't afraid to own their story. When you stop running from mistakes, you stop being held back by them. And then, my friend, you'll know what true freedom feels like. Behavior number 3, resenting others' success. Why is it that when someone else succeeds, we sometimes feel a pang of resentment instead of joy? In a world that constantly measures worth by achievements, it's all too easy to let envy creep in, casting a shadow over our own happiness. But here's the truth. Resentments can blind us to our own potential and diminish our ability to celebrate others. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing your friend post about a promotion, a new car, or an amazing vacation. Instead of feeling happy for them, you might catch yourself thinking, "Why not me?" It's a common reaction, but it can quickly turn toxic. We start comparing ourselves to others, forgetting that their journey is not our own, and this comparison only breeds discontent. The Stoics, the wise philosophers of ancient times, understood this very human tendency. They taught that our focus should be inward, on our own values and progress, rather than fixating on others' successes. When we resent others, we not only poison our relationships, but also distract ourselves from our path. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from self-reflection and personal growth, not from the approval or achievements of others. But how do we shift our mindset? Start by recognizing that someone else's success does not diminish your worth. Their achievements don't take away from your potential. In fact, they can inspire you to pursue your own goals. Instead of resenting their triumph, ask yourself what you can learn from their journey. What qualities do they possess that you admire? Use that admiration as a springboard to fuel your own ambitions. Next, practice gratitude. When feelings of resentment arise, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for in your life. Acknowledge your own achievements, big or small, and remind yourself of your unique journey. The Stoics emphasize the importance of gratitude, showing us that recognizing our own blessings can help shift our perspective and reduce envy. Finally, celebrate others' successes. This might seem challenging at first, but making a conscious effort to cheer on those around you can transform your mindset. Send a message of congratulations, share their accomplishments, or simply acknowledge their hard work. This shift not only strengthens your relationships, but also cultivates a sense of community and support. So here's the takeaway. Let go of resentment and embrace the success of others as a source of inspiration. Life isn't a competition, it's a journey. When you shift your focus from envy to gratitude, you open yourself up to possibilities and growth. Remember, the only person you should be competing with is the version of yourself from yesterday. Celebrate your journey and let others' successes motivate you to chase your own dreams. Behavior number 4, allowing doubts to halt progress. Why is it that our own doubts can feel like the biggest roadblocks on our path to success? It's as if a shadow looms over our ambitions, whispering that we're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. But here's the truth. Allowing those doubts to take control can keep us from reaching our full potential. Imagine this. You have a goal in mind, a project you want to start, a skill you want to learn, or a dream you want to pursue. You feel excited, ready to dive in. But then, like a thief in the night, doubt creeps in. What if I fail? What will others think? Suddenly that spark of motivation fades, and you're left paralyzed, staring at the what-ifs instead of taking action. The Stoics, those wise ancient philosophers, recognized that doubts are a natural part of being human. They taught that while we can't always control our thoughts, we can control how we respond to them. Instead of letting doubts dictate our actions, they encouraged us to face our fears head-on and take small, deliberate steps forward. Progress doesn't require perfection, it requires action. So how do we break free from this cycle of doubt? First, start by acknowledging your feelings. It's okay to feel uncertain. Instead of pushing those feelings away, sit with them for a moment. Ask yourself, what specifically am I afraid of? Often, simply naming our fears can diminish their power over us. Next, challenge those doubts. Are they based on facts, or are they just stories we tell ourselves? The Stoics believed in questioning our thoughts, and doing so can help us see the bigger picture. For instance, if you think, "I'll never succeed," counter that with evidence of past successes, no matter how small. Remind yourself that progress is a journey, not a sprint. Then, take action, even if it's a small step. Progress doesn't have to be monumental, it just needs to be forward. Start with a task that feels manageable. This could be researching your goal, talking to someone who inspires you, or setting a tiny milestone. Each step you take is a victory, and those victories build confidence over time. Finally, embrace the possibility of failure. The Stoics taught that failure isn't the end, it's part of the learning process. When you view setbacks as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to stop, you reclaim your power. Remember, every successful person has faced doubts and failures, yet they chose to keep moving forward. So here's the takeaway. Don't let doubts hold you back from pursuing your dreams. Acknowledge them, challenge them, and take action despite them. You have the strength to push through uncertainty and create the life you envision. Remember, progress is about moving forward, not being perfect. Embrace the journey, trust yourself, and keep going. Your future self will thank you for it. Behavior number 5. Hiding from vulnerability. Why is it that we often shy away from vulnerability as if it were a weakness? In a world that celebrates strength and success, opening up can feel like stepping onto a stage with no script. We worry about being judged, misunderstood, or even rejected. But here's the truth. Vulnerability is not the enemy. It's actually the gateway to deeper connections and true authenticity. Imagine this. You're in a room full of people, and everyone is putting on a brave face. Laughter fills the air, but underneath, each person is hiding their own struggles. You might feel the pressure to keep up appearances, to smile and nod while pushing down your real feelings. It's exhausting, isn't it? Instead of connecting, we build walls, thinking we're protecting ourselves, but those walls only isolate us further. This fear of vulnerability leads us to wear masks. We present a version of ourselves that we think others want to see, successful, happy, and always in control. But this isn't the real us. The Stoics, those wise ancient philosophers, understood the power of vulnerability. They taught that true strength lies in embracing our humanity, acknowledging our flaws, and allowing ourselves to feel deeply. They believed that vulnerability is not about exposing ourselves to harm, it's about being honest with who we are. The Stoics would remind us that every time we choose to hide from our feelings, we miss out on opportunities for growth and connection. Real strength comes from being open, even when it's uncomfortable. So how do we start embracing vulnerability? First, begin by recognizing your fears. What holds you back from expressing your true self? Is it the fear of judgment? Start small. Share a genuine thought or feeling with someone you trust. You might be surprised by their response. Most people appreciate authenticity and are often struggling with similar fears. Next, practice self-compassion. Remember, it's okay to be imperfect. Everyone has moments of doubt, sadness, or confusion. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you create space for others to do the same. It's a powerful exchange that fosters deeper relationships. Lastly, remember that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. It takes courage to be open. The Stoics understood that every time we choose authenticity over pretense, we become more resilient. We learn to navigate our emotions, face our fears, and ultimately connect with others on a much deeper level. So here's the takeaway. Stop hiding from vulnerability. Embrace it as part of your journey. When you allow yourself to be seen, flaws and all, you invite genuine connection into your life. It's time to take off the mask and show the world the real you. You might just find that it's in those moments of vulnerability that we discover our true strength and the richness of human connection. Behavior number 6. Prioritizing appearances over substance. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get caught up in what things look like rather than what they truly are? We live in a world where appearances can overshadow reality. A polished Instagram post, a flashy car, or an impressive job title can create a facade that masks what's really happening underneath. Imagine scrolling through social media, seeing everyone's highlight reels. It looks perfect, right? Everyone seems happier, more successful, and living their best lives. But behind those images, there's often a different story. Struggles, failures, and unfiltered moments that never make the cut. Yet, we still find ourselves measuring our worth against these curated snapshots. This obsession with appearances seeps into our daily lives too. We might choose a career path based on prestige rather than passion, wear clothes that impress others instead of what makes us comfortable, or engage in conversations that sound good but lack depth. In doing so, we sacrifice our authenticity for a facade, and slowly we forget who we really are. The Stoics, those ancient thinkers who emphasized the importance of virtue and integrity, saw through this superficiality. They taught that true value comes from substance, not surface. For them, character and wisdom outweigh the temporary glow of appearances. They believed in cultivating inner strength and authenticity, arguing that when we prioritize substance, we lead more fulfilling lives. But how do we shift our focus from appearances to substance? Start by asking yourself what truly matters to you. What brings you joy? What aligns with your values? This isn't about rejecting all things beautiful or impressive. It's about recognizing that they shouldn't define you. Next, let's reflect on the relationships we foster. Are we surrounding ourselves with people who value us for our true selves, or are we drawn to those who only care about status or image? The Stoics would encourage you to seek out genuine connections that enrich your life, not just those that enhance your social standing. Remember, living a life focused on substance means embracing vulnerability. It's okay to show your true self, imperfections and all. The depth of your experiences, your struggles, your growth, your authenticity will always hold more weight than a polished exterior. So here's the takeaway. Don't let appearances dictate your worth or happiness. Life isn't about how you look. It's about who you are and what you bring to the table. Embrace your true self. Let go of the need for validation through appearances, and watch how deeply fulfilling life can be when you prioritize substance over show. Behavior number 7. Allowing minor annoyances to steal peace. Why do we let minor annoyances disrupt our peace of mind? It's astonishing how the smallest irritations, a honking horn, a misplaced item, or someone cutting in line, can spiral into frustration that lingers throughout our day. But here's the truth. Allowing these little annoyances to steal our peace is a choice we can change. Imagine this. You're having a perfectly fine day when suddenly someone cuts you off in traffic. Your heart races, anger bubbles up, and just like that, your mood shifts. You find yourself replaying the moment in your head, letting that minor inconvenience dictate your entire afternoon. It's exhausting, isn't it? Instead of enjoying your day, you're caught in a loop of irritation. The Stoics, those wise philosophers from ancient times, understood this struggle well. They taught that our peace is precious, and we should guard it fiercely. They believed that while we can't control the actions of others, we can control how we react to them. The key is not to let small irritations hijack our emotional state. So how do we reclaim our peace? First, practice mindfulness. When something annoying happens, take a moment to breathe. Instead of reacting instantly, pause and observe your feelings. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, you'll realize that these minor irritations are fleeting and not worth your mental space. Next, reframe your perspective. Instead of viewing annoyances as personal attacks, see them as part of life. Everyone has their own challenges, and sometimes people act out of stress or frustration. By recognizing this, you can cultivate empathy instead of annoyance. The Stoics encouraged us to understand that our reactions shape our experiences. Choose to respond with patience and understanding, and watch how it changes your outlook. Additionally, focus on gratitude. When minor annoyances threaten to steal your peace, shift your focus to what you're grateful for. Remind yourself of the positives in your life, whether it's supportive friends, a cozy home, or simply a beautiful day. Gratitude can serve as a powerful antidote to irritation, helping you regain perspective. Lastly, remember that your peace of mind is your responsibility. It's easy to give away our power to the actions of others, but ultimately, we decide how we respond. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-control, reminding us that we have the ability to choose how we react to every situation. So here's the takeaway. Don't let minor annoyances steal your peace. Acknowledge them, breathe, and choose your response. Life is too short to let little irritations dictate your happiness. Embrace the practice of mindfulness, gratitude, and self-control. By doing so, you'll cultivate a deeper sense of peace that can withstand the minor bumps along the way. Remember, you are in control of your peace. Protect it fiercely. Behavior number 8. Chasing validation through productivity. Why do we often find ourselves chasing validation through our productivity? In a world that glorifies busyness and achievements, it's all too easy to tie our self-worth to how much we do. But here's the truth. Constantly seeking approval through productivity can leave us feeling drained, unfulfilled, and disconnected from what truly matters. Picture this. You wake up with a long to-do list, and your mind races with all the tasks you need to accomplish. You might think, if I just finish this project or hit this deadline, I'll finally feel validated. But as you check off item after item, you realize that the sense of satisfaction is fleeting. Instead of feeling fulfilled, you're left wanting more tasks, more accolades, more validation. The Stoics, those wise ancient thinkers, recognized this cycle of external validation. They taught that true worth comes from within and is not dependent on others' opinions or external achievements. They believed in focusing on the quality of our actions rather than the quantity, emphasizing that what matters most is how we live our lives, not how busy we appear. So, how do we break free from this need for validation? Start by redefining what success means to you. Ask yourself, what do I value? Shift your focus from external markers of success, like job titles or accolades, to personal fulfillment. Create goals that align with your values and passions, not just those that will impress others. Next, practice self-reflection. Take time to assess your motivations. Are you working hard for personal satisfaction, or are you seeking validation from others? The Stoics encouraged self-examination as a way to understand our desires and intentions. Journaling can be a powerful tool here. Write down your thoughts and feelings to gain clarity on your relationship with productivity and validation. Another essential step is to cultivate gratitude for what you achieve, no matter how small. Acknowledge your efforts and celebrate progress, not just results. When you focus on gratitude, you shift your mindset from seeking validation to appreciating your journey. The Stoics believed in recognizing the value of our actions and the lessons learned along the way. Lastly, embrace the importance of rest and balance. It's okay to take a break and recharge. Productivity doesn't have to be synonymous with constant activity. Allowing yourself downtime can lead to greater creativity and fulfillment. Remember, it's not about how much you do, but how well you connect with your own values and passions. So here's the takeaway. Stop chasing validation through productivity. Instead, cultivate a sense of self-worth that comes from within. Redefine success on your own terms, practice self-reflection, and celebrate your unique journey. By focusing on what truly matters, you'll find fulfillment beyond the fleeting approval of others. Life is too precious to spend it seeking validation. Embrace your path and let your actions reflect your true self.